I consider myself a fan of Doctor Who. Like, even though I might not like Steven Moffat, I still don't hate the show.
If I die before Steven Moffat, have me cremated, take me to England, and throw my ashes in his dead little eyes.
His beady little eyes. I'll do that. But,
Still.
So, I haven't watched the newest episode because I didn't bother. Even though that looks like it could be kind of fun. That's the one with, like, a train, I guess.
Yeah, that actually was one of the better ones.
Like,
of the season.
That kind of sounds like the, Midnight episode from season 4, I think?
Yeah.
Which, I love that episode, so I feel like that'd be a fun one.
Yeah, it was a good episode.
And of course I haven't watched the most recent one, which came out like an hour ago. Or whenever the fuck it comes out. But the one before that, the one with the moon being an egg.
Yes.
I thought that episode was terrible.
Yeah, it was nonsense, and
Like-
also...
Okay, before anything, I don't think the moon being an alien is a bad idea.
No.
As far as Doctor Who goes, that's the kind of crazy, outlandish idea that I love about the series.
That's acceptable. It's just, it wasn't explained well.
The moon being an egg, fine with it. I'm fine with that. The moon having giant spider germs on it, fine with that. You know, it's Doctor Who, anything can happen. You know, I'm not fine, just bullshit in that episode.
Well, I feel like they wanted to preface this thing of like, oh, Clara's not going to be in the TARDIS anymore, but it's like, oh, your emotional reaction is kind of
She
really...
just kind of bitches him out.
It's kind of really exaggerated and pointless, and it's like, instead of being like, oh, what kind of reaction would this character we have written actually have? Nope, we just need to have her freak out because, lol, she's a woman.
I mean, before any of that, way back at the beginning of the episode, the whole reason the episode begins is because that little girl, well, she's not that little, I
She's
guess.
a teenager.
She's kind of got that, like, oh, I don't give a fuck attitude.
She's a teenager.
You know, England. The whole reason that they brought her with them is because apparently the doctor said she's not special. And isn't the doctor's thing that all humans are important? Like, hasn't the doctor said that a million fucking times in the new series?
He said that, like, across all fucking...
Like, is that classic too? I haven't watched much of classics.
Pretty
so I don't
much
know.
across all Doctor Who media is the Doctor gives a crap about pretty much everyone.
Yeah, he's always like, every human is important. And yet, apparently to this girl, he's just like, you're not important.
He's like, you
The
suck.
fuck, doctor? That's totally out of character.
It's rude.
Like, I understand each doctor has their own personality, but
It's really way off base of kind of what we've seen of the Doctor.
And I like Capaldi so far. I think he's a good doctor. But why did they write that scene in? That's stupid.
It's strange.
Not to mention the little girl. I called her a little girl again. She's like a teenager.
Yeah.
But she was annoying as fuck.
Yeah.
That episode.
Well, yeah, she's dead weight, and also they just kind of didn't really know what to do with her character.
They were like, oh, she becomes the president.
Oh,
It's
I
like,
guess.
who really cares?
Yeah. Also, wait, she's president of the United States, but she's from Britain.
Yeah, wait a minute. I didn't even think of that.
Just occurred
They
to
called
me.
her president. What the fuck?
Maybe-
No, hold
maybe
on. Hold
she's-
the phone.
Maybe she's president of some kind of United Nations thing.
No, okay, maybe. I didn't even think of that. I was just like, oh, she's president, whatever.
Maybe
Wait a minute.
Maybe
There's-
the English-speaking world is a unified country in the future.
Maybe England has a president in the future instead of a prime minister. I don't know.
Maybe she killed the queen
Right.
and absorbed her power.
I'd
and
believe
now
that,
she's the boss.
Okay. Actually, no. It wasn't the doctor going against his past thing that really pissed me off this episode. What really pissed me off this episode was the whole, this was the moment that got humanity interested in space. Their first contact with aliens. Oh yeah, no. What about seasons 1 through 4? They had plenty of
that
fucking
stuff that
contact with
happens.
aliens.
Well, that's just Steven Moffat ignoring all of New Who that he did not personally write.
It's like, I know season 5 basically retcons season 4, where they were like, oh, the cracks in space are causing dir-dir-dirs happening, and I rebooted the universe with my ding-dongs. That's what happened.
Are those technical terms?
In Doctor Who, yes.
Yes, they are. That's true. Fair enough.
But, oh my god, that pisses me off. Why does he just do that? You know? Moffat even wrote episodes back then, and
It's because he's not very talented at what he
he's
does.
not. Here's my opinion of Moffat. He's a good short story writer. For episodes like Blink, where it's a short story, the character is introduced, goes through their development, and then the character is never brought up again, he does a good job. But for a continuous story, through like a season, multiple seasons, he's fucking awful.
See, my big problem with Moffat, well, I have two major problems with Steven Moffat. The first is...
His beady little eyes.
Well, no. Well, yes, but two real problems. The first one is a technical writing thing.
Alright.
I mean, not to be arrogant, like, well, as a writer.
Yeah,
but,
you can do that.
like,
I don't care.
As someone who writes and enjoys writing as a craft, he just will introduce his story and throw tons of stuff at the wall,
Right.
and 99% of it is irrelevant to the later story, but he'll pick a random thing that will like get him out of the corner he writes himself into.
He does do that, doesn't
Perfect example. The Christmas special last year. They go to the town or whatever, and it has like the truth field, and it's basically
Right.
so that Clara will be like, "Oh, I like the doctor because I'm a woman." And ha ha ha, and that leads into my other Moffat problem. But it's just like, oh, okay, is that plot critical? Oh no, it was just that's a thing that happened. That had nothing to do with anything. Another good example in 11th Hour, the first Matt Smith episode, which is like a good episode, but they just kind of like walk around the town for a while and like enumerate all the stuff in it. And it's like, oh, okay, like these landmarks are going to be important later. No, the Doctor just does stuff and then the plot's over. And that's my problem with Steven Moffat, is he doesn't plan his stories. He doesn't know how to like resolve a plot outside of just Deus Ex Machinaing his way out.
Yeah, that sounds like what he does.
My other big problem is that Steven Moffat is a sexist. He does not treat women well. He doesn't seem to understand that women are people.
All of his ideas of a strong female character are the same character.
She's got a short haircut. She like still calls people darling and sweetie, so that she's in control of her sexuality. But all of her life still revolves around a man. He also seems to think that stalking is love.
Oh, yeah, he totally does. It's like, oh, I don't have a good example, but if I did have an example, I'd
My
talk
perfect
about
example is in Blink, that episode he wrote is the character's friend goes back in time and that dude is just like following her and she's like, leave me alone, and he's like, no, and you're supposed to go like, oh, that's romantic.
Oh, isn't that adorable?
Like, no, that's creepy.
It was pretty creepy, actually.
And then also there's the whole thing where how Amy can't have children anymore, and the only reaction she has in relation to that is like, oh, I want to give Rory babies. It's not like, oh, how does that affect Amy's life emotionally? It's just, nope,
Yeah.
It made Rory sad.
You're right, that does happen.
Steven Moffat is a giant sexist.
I didn't even think about that. I mean, I knew he was pretty sexist, but I didn't think about it that way. Huh, well, the more you know.
Steven Moffat's a bad person. I will say that to anybody who defends Steven Moffat. He's a garbage human being.
He is. And if you're listening,
Steven Moffat, if you're listening to this, come fight me.
yeah, email us. We'll send you our address. You
Come to
fight us.
Come to my house.
Or fight Riley. I don't give a shit, really.
No,
But
we're settling this. We're gonna have a big old fist fight, and I'm gonna win.
yeah.
And then I will become the new head writer. Because
And
that's
then
how it
we'll,
works.
we'll bring back Jack.
Yes, Jack Kirk.
Fucking best character.
I
And he
miss
hasn't
Jack.
shown up since season 4.
Oh, dude, I've been watching Arrow, and John Barrowman's in that.
What? Who's he play?
He plays Merlin.
Oh, that's pretty fucking tits.
Yeah, and I really want... every time he talks, I'm like, I miss you so much. Yeah.
You know, I hadn't really
He plays
heard
a
of-
supervillain.
That's cool.
And it's perfect. And I love him, and I'm gonna marry him someday.
Isn't he married
I...
already?
accidents happen.
He's awesome, though.
He is. He's a cool guy.
Alright, well, I guess that ends that rant.
Doctor Who discount opinions. Steven Moffat's a sexist is not my opinion. It's a discount fact.
Discount fact. Okay, bye. Where's the fucking off button?